We can't go back and have the same life. For us now, we go back to Syria. The same cities are not the same. They are destroyed. The same neighbors are not the same because they are displaced and they immigrated different parts of the world. The same neighbors I used to have, like, they passed away, so I won't find them. When you first come to a country, you feel like if visiting or even staying, it's a big dream to dream that you become a citizen in this country if you are staying. And we are staying, we are not going. We love it and we are staying. The citizenship ceremony, we got ready for that at home. Everybody knew because we had flags and balloons everywhere in front of the house, on the doors. We made the house look so fancy with all the red and white stuff to like just kind of decoration for the citizenship ceremony day. And we were, all the family, like everyone came to my house and we were all waiting for this minute. And then it started. The judge was there and some other employees were there talking to us. And each one of them will take a couple of families together to talk to them and make sure they have all the requirements done. And then they bring us back together and we start singing and saying the oath. It was one of the most happy minutes in my life. I can tell that.
Why?
It's just a dream that comes true. When you first come to a country, you feel like if visiting or even staying, it's a big dream to dream that you become a citizen in this country if you are staying. And we are staying, we are not going. We love it and we are staying. So we need the citizenship done so we have passports and we can stay and travel as long as we want or wherever we want. So it's a dream. It's just a big dream that I dream of. I can tell you that before, a long time ago, I used to tell my students that I dream to go to Canada, but like I never dreamt of citizenship done because that was beyond my dreams. When I came here, I was like, oh my gosh, when do the 3 years pass and then I can apply for my citizenship? And they passed and I applied and then I got it. So what a big dream to happen. It's a happiness. It's just lots of pleasure and happiness and proud. I'm so proud. It's lots of pride. I'm so proud of it.
What the road to here? Can we go back to where that started in Syria and the decision to have to leave?
So it started in Syria 2011. Nobody thought that we would leave. Everybody thought that this cold Arabic Spring will last for a few months and then over. We did not think we would leave in a couple of years. We had to leave 2013 when Turkey let everyone go, like just to escape the war and then come back when it's over. It took many years after and it was still there. We did not think so. I can tell you that when we first came to Turkey, they wanted a contract for 3 months to rent a house for 3 months. And we were like, no, we want to pay for 3 months. We're going back. And then it was like 5 years and a half in Turkey. When me and my family met a friend from Canada, and he was like, you should come to Canada. You speak English perfectly. You and the children, you can survive there easily and you deserve it. And we were like, yes, why not? Please start the sponsorship. It took him a couple of years with his 4 friends to collect the money and start the sponsorship process. And then we came here 2018. It was July, one of the most beautiful months in the country. And, you know, when we woke up in the morning, all the flowers, all the greenery, or the neighbors, we had very nice neighbors who came and knocked on the door and welcomed us. So I think our journey to Canada was one of the most beautiful ones. I can say that because it was not that difficult. Like, it was easy and nice with the friends who sponsored us.
Mm. Were you ever worried at all to go, because to have a one home and then to leave and then to have the unknown and wonder about going back, and then this Canada thing comes up? Was there ever a part where there was any worry around that?
We were not worried to stay in Canada, about staying in Canada. We wanted to stay since we came because we knew that our country is not coming back. Like, it's gone. It's destroyed. Who knows when can we go back? But staying in Turkey was not the solution because in Turkey we were not refugees, we were not citizens. We were nothing. We were just visitors. Could go at some point. But in Canada, since like from the first second you arrive, you know that you are a PR or you have your status in the country. So you feel like I need to stay, I want to stay, and I love to stay. And that's how we start the citizenship application and everything so that we can stay. We are not worried about staying. We want to stay. We love it. We are not leaving anyway. Don't think so.
What was the process like then? You arrive and you said the welcoming was great. The process of settling in and then feel like the build up to having a place feel like home.
Arriving here was, I can remember that pretty well. It was 9:30 at night on the 10th of July, 2018. I can remember every single thing. We had our sponsors and some friends at the airport waiting for us. We arrived home. The house was really decorated, even like furnished and decorated by our sponsors. We arrived, even we had some nice supper on the table because we were exhausted and we were hungry. So we had supper and we went to bed. We were exhausted, of course, after like 44 hours of flights and weddings in airports. And when we woke up in the morning, everything looked amazing. Everything in the neighborhood, like we had flowers in front of the house that the sponsors rented. And one of my children looked from the window and he was like, Mom, look, everyone has small dogs. Like the neighbors had small dogs. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is the place where I want to live, because he loved dogs all his life. So he went to one of the suitcases that we had. He grabbed a paper and a pen and a paper, and he wrote on the paper, woof, 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 your dog wants me to walk him out, Mohammed. And he put that on the tree in front of our house, and that's how the neighbors knew that there is some new tenant in the house, and they started knocking on our doors, and Mohammed made his own business. Like that was a start, that the neighbors came to knock on the door and introduce themselves and know us. And the neighbors there that we had on the first house are my best friends till now. We still meet, we still text each other, we still go to the farmers market together sometimes. Like the same people, like a couple of women that I really liked, like sisters.
What have you learned about people from living in Syria and then living here, and about how either similar or different we all are?
Yeah, I find some differences between people back home and people here. And I find some similarities between people back home and here. I'm not going to compare, but I can say that I'm learning a lot from people here, and I'm much better now dealing with everything in daily life in Canada. Because when I first came, I did not know about the rules, not much about the rules everywhere, the regulations, and how nice people are to each other. Like, I was nice all my life, but like I had to be even nicer to live in Canada, and I'm learning that now. So at work, I had to say thank you and sorry all the time, and which is me, most of the time. But we did not have that back home. It was not the same standard, not the same intensive. But here, it's so nice. People are. I think we are in one of the kindest and most friendly provinces in the world, or cities in the world. Like people are super nice and friendly and kind, and everyone is ready to help. Even when I started working, everyone came to me and whispered to me, like, if you need help, don't hesitate to ask. Like, how nice are those people, and how kind and how generous even. Like, they give their information for free. They teach you for free. Like, nobody wants anything for that. So I think that's the perfect place that people want to live in.
Your daughter-in-law is newly here, or arrived. What was it like to have her arrive and then to have a family wedding in Canada?
Yeah. So she arrived in June 2022, and she's a year and a half, almost a year and a half here now. And we had everything almost done, almost organized and done to have their wedding to happen on July the 1st, which is Canada Day. Like we wanted that. We really wanted to have the wedding day on Canada Day so that we have both at the same day. So we booked a hall downtown, and we did everything that we needed. We bought the dress, we bought everything. We invited our friends, Canadians and Syrians, and we had a big wedding that was really organized. And everybody was like, so far, people say like our wedding was the best in the community because it was really well organized. It was a happy event and incident in our life. Still remember it and look at the pictures every time.
For the Syrian community and to be part of the Syrian community, given what happened and the situation still, what's it like to think back to that previous life from where you are now?
We miss home, of course. We miss our country and we miss the days we were when we used to live together. I miss my relatives and my family and my friends. But the thing now is we can't go back and have the same life. You miss a place and you want to go back to a place that's still the same. Like if you go away from St. John's, let's say for a couple of years, and then you miss St. John's and you come back, but you will find the same buildings in the same place, and you will find the same neighbors that you left in the same place. But like for us now, we go back to Syria. The same cities are not the same. They are destroyed. The same neighbors are not the same because they are displaced and they immigrated different parts of the world. Even some of them passed away. Like the same neighbors I used to have, like they passed away, so I won't find them. It's a big difference now. I can't dream to go back to Syria and find Syria. It's another Syria. It's another country now. It's another place. It's not the same. So that's the way everyone thinks of. So we need to have a home now because we don't have a home back home now.
For Syrians who left home, who are either here in St. John's or in Canada, the lives that they're making and the continuation of that former Syria in a new place. What do you think about that?
People are doing their best to adapt with the new home. Some of them have difficulties. I know that the language is the key wherever you go. Like a key of a country is the language. When you have the language, that's your key. But in some cases, people are still struggling with the language. I just advise them all the time. I just recommend that they go to schools and do courses, and even before coming, like if when they know that they are coming to Canada, work on your language. Don't stop it. Just work on your language, and when you come, you will be much better. So I think they're doing fine. Most of them are going into their own success stories. I hear about their success stories everywhere, and I see them here. I see them happy. I see them like with their good cars, and they drive. Like they did not drive before. Now they are learning. They are trying to learn the language so that they can get good jobs. In the meanwhile, they are doing smaller jobs, and they are happy with their children being safe, and they can afford their rent, and just eat, have food on their tables. I think they should be happy. They are happy.
And there's spreading of Syrian culture as well, right? What are you folks about to start?
Yeah, we are starting a business to make the Syrian food that people miss so much here. We did not have a Syrian restaurant in the city so far, so that was a demand. Like people were asking us, they know that my husband had this experience before, so they were asking us like, why don't you start? And we were trying it. We did our best to find a place to rent. It did not work till we could buy one. So now we are going into the process, like we are more than half the way doing the paperwork and everything. And like I know that's going to be our business so that we can survive and we can have pay our mortgage and everything. But at the same time, I'm so happy that we can keep people here. They won't complain anymore that we don't have the Syrian food in the city, so they stay. We don't want to lose our friends. We want everyone to stay, and I'm really interested making people stay. I want them to stay and make the community bigger and bigger, stronger, and flourish every day. So this is one of the steps. This is one of the small things that you can do for the community so that they stay. So we are so happy that we can do that for the community and for ourselves.
Food is just so important.
Yes, we are very food people. Like we like food, and we did not have many international cuisines and restaurants back home. So people don't know much about other foods. So when I first came, I could not eat other types of food. Now we can eat everything, because we have other restaurants. We did not try them before. So now when I try them, I feel like, oh my gosh, the Indian food is good. This food is, I buy now everything from supermarkets and I can eat them. So people are learning to eat other foods, but they still like their own food. I like our food, like the food we had back home. So this is a step that will help people to stay.
Mona, thank you so much for this.
You're very welcome.